All right, everybody, welcome to the webinar. My name is Trevor Chapman. Let me get the video up and running for you. All right, I can see myself. I hope that you can see me. It is 7 o'clock sharp. I'm so excited to be here. I know that the timer said that we had like 5 more minutes counting down, but that's just an issue of lag in the internet. 7 o'clock, we start sharp. I'm so excited to be here. I'm honored to be able to share with you information that I have and an expertise that I've gathered over the last over a decade to help everybody a part of this movement succeed. I had the incredible opportunity to meet Bob and sit down with him and some members of his team, and we've kind of constructed this webinar series that will help lay the foundation of everything that you're going to need to get going forward. Now, I've got a little setup here, so I've got the Facebook Live down here. So when you see me look down here, it's going to be to make sure that the feed is actually going through. And when it gets to the question and answers time, I'm going to be looking down here as well so that I can see the questions and answers. I have my screen that you guys are going to see on your screen over here. So you're going to see my face going around a little bit. If I notice that there is a severe amount of lag, then I'm going to shut off my video and instead just transmit the audio and my screen. That way you guys don't miss anything. Real quick though, I want to see, can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, write in the comments that you've got me. Let's get some. Let's find out if you can hear me. I'm going to send a quick text real quick. If you're just jumping on, this is absolutely the right spot. You have entered the webinar e-commerce training series with Trevor Chapman for the iByRight platform and the movement. I'm verifying right now whether or not you can hear me. Can you hear me? This is fairly new for Facebook, is this Facebook Live ability, but the ability to actually broadcast live webinars. And so I want to make sure that we have all the technology correct. I'm asking a few. Okay, perfect. I got the message up. I can be heard. Okay, everyone. I'm super excited to be here. Like I said, you're in the right spot. This is e-commerce training for the iByRight platform and, of course, the movement that's associated with it. That's all about freedom and lifestyle. I've only got 30 minutes today, so I'm going to be speaking in brevity. But I ask you that you don't mistake the brevity with which I speak on these topics as that you don't associate that with the absolute exhaustive knowledge that actually exists in these topics. If I say something that really strikes your interest or hits your fancy, be sure to do your own research online. Speak with the people that invited you to this webinar. Comment on the Facebook page. Gather information and allow everyone to learn together. Let's go ahead and get started now. I am not going to be able to see myself now on this screen, so I'm going live over here now. And let's go on. All right, iByRight e-commerce webinar training. Okay, 30 minutes. I've got to avoid the regular pleasantries like where are you from? Oh wow, we've got someone from Europe, from America. We can't do that today in the name of time. So let's go ahead and move forward now. Today I'm going to be talking with you about the art of making money online, and it's both an art and there's a science to it because it's based on actual data. I'm going to be talking about the building blocks that I used with my first e-commerce enterprise to make over $1 million in just 92 days online. And this is with zero prior e-commerce experience, but it's because I took 12 years as a brick and mortar entrepreneur and kind of morphed it into what I saw as the next phase in online marketing and e-commerce business specifically. So that's what we're here for. The goal of the conversation today is to, number one, explain the number one secret that many marketers, including online marketers, specifically online marketers, don't realize about market needs, or in other words, the velocity of their sales platform. Basically, I will be explaining to you why most e-commerce enterprises fail and how you can use that knowledge for your benefit to overcome that dip. Secondly, I'm going to show you how to leverage the one tool, and by one, I mean the only one that exists, connecting you to the world that will allow you to avoid traditional business acceleration issues. And then I'll be closing with some next action steps for you to get early momentum in any business endeavor, in any enterprise. Early wins and early momentum are necessary to carry you through the dips that occur. So we're going to be talking about what to do next to make sure that you are able to maximize this opportunity. Going on. I'm going to be sharing some of the real secrets that I've learned and constructed on this webinar today. And although I am giving them to you in brevity today, it's going to give you a lot of power. So I need you guys to make me a promise. Can you guys do that? I mean, can you imagine if you were able to go out and make $1 million in, a year or 2 years online, or create a group that was able to achieve a lot of success? If I give you those promises for that, if I give that to you, then I'm going to need a promise in return. And that promise is that you will use your success for good and not evil. And Star Wars, I want a picture of Indiana Jones. I know it's kind of funny, but for real, the information that you're going to be getting today is going to have the ability to really transform where you're at, because regardless, you're going to be somewhere in a year, you're going to be somewhere in 2 years. If you look at your life right now and it's kind of like it was a year ago or 2 years ago, then what's to say that it's going to be drastically different a year from now or 2 years from now? It only will be if you take different actions and change your behaviors. The best way to predict future results is past behavior. So in all seriousness about this promise, I need you guys to give me a pinky promise. Okay, I like to throw some levity in there to make sure that everyone's up and going. Let's move on with this. First off, real quick, who am I? Who's this dude talking to me? My name's Trevor Chapman. I grew up in Guam. My dad was a scuba diving instructor. I lived there till I was 12. When I was 12, we moved to Alaska. He was a whale watching boat captain up there. Loved Alaska, was able to climb, to work as a sea kayaking guide, all kinds of things. I'll skip past this bio. I won't go really into much depth. But when I was 21, I returned from Eastern Europe for a while, fell in love, was at college, had to make some money. And I had a buddy that said, hey, if you come and you knock doors and you sell pest control, you can make a lot of money. So I did precisely that. That led from one thing to another until eventually I was able to build multiple businesses that were actually successful, all in this sales sphere, in this direct sales, similar to e-commerce, specifically bringing the product to the customer instead of waiting for there to be a need in the marketplace. It allowed me to kind of live the life that I want, provide for my family the way that I wanted to provide, spend a lot of time in foreign countries. On the bottom, that was the first company that I sold, my first real success after a lot of failures, like I'm sure you're very familiar with if you're an entrepreneur as well. I was able to then move forward from there and establish a series of systemic steps that allow me to recreate what I was doing offline or in brick and mortar and do it online. So let's jump right into the meat of this. We've already gone through 7 minutes. So today's goal, again, explain the number one secret many marketers don't realize about market needs, specifically the velocity of sales, and why you can benefit from knowing why most e-commerce enterprises fail. So let's get right into this. Paralysis by market analysis or need. So traditional business works like this. You come up with an incredible product or an incredible idea, or you have this incredible opportunity, and you know that if other people knew about it, they would be on board with you. There's no way you could stop them. You're going to make $1 million. No, you're going to make $100 million because this is such an incredible idea. And then you hit the brick wall, which is people finding out about it. I didn't freeze, I paused there. In other words, waiting for a market need. Waiting for the market itself to establish a need and say, hey, we need that. We need radio before people had antennas. We need telephones before people were communicating on these wired. You needed to wait for a market need. Now, in traditional business, this is a big issue because when there is a market need and it's been established already, you've got all kinds of competition. Competition in the white pages, competition on the billboards, competition with brick and mortar locations. And what that leads to is a race to the bottom. Because instead of innovating, the easiest thing for businesses to do, and humans, the way that we are, is that we typically go to the easiest denominator, is you race to the bottom and you end up lowering the price. But at least now there's a market need and you can capture some of the market, right? This issue that causes paralysis is the necessity of a need. And this is why most e-commerce enterprises fail. Kickstarter has come out and attempted to reverse that by saying, hey, here's something awesome. Let's throw it in front of a bunch of people and see if they like it. And if they do, then great, your invention will go forward. So the old way was to wait for there to be a need. I spent 12 years trying to figure this out. This is query-based marketing. Now, query-based marketing is the foundation for traditional business, meaning if you need a toothbrush, you go to Walmart and you go to the toothbrush aisle, and then they give you the selection of brushes that are there. All of them competitors with each other. You then select the one that's going to be best for you. You buy it, race to the bottom. They're all competing on price and quality, and then you check out. But what if you had toothbrushes before someone needed them? See, you can't do that in a query-based marketing world or in that paradigm. Online is the same thing. You jump on Amazon, you start typing things in, and what you've got is you've got a selection of what they currently have. So this is the old way. I spent 12 years knocking my head against this brick wall, trying to figure out how to get past the fact that there needed to be an established need in the market for your product or your service or your opportunity to sell. So after 12 years, I figured out kind of a shortcut. And I hate using the word shortcut because people think it's a hack or there's no real shortcuts. The work must always be done. Instead, I found a quantum leap. I'll explain real quick what a quantum leap is. Jim Collins talks about this in his book, Good to Great. A quantum leap is when you've got an example as a third world country that has no telecommunication infrastructure. There's no telephone poles, there's no wires, anything like that. And they go from not having any sort of telephones or any infrastructure to tossing up cell towers and everyone having a cell phone. Meaning you skipped a step. It's not that the work wasn't done, work was done, but you took a quantum leap. So guys, I spent 12 years trying to figure out how to do this quantum leap. I had to go through the old way, the school of hard knocks. There were some things I did right, some things I did wrong. You guys have the opportunity to actually just skip that step and take the quantum leap that I learned and apply it to your business. Do you want the shortcut? If you guys want the shortcut, go ahead and comment in there. Yes, I want the shortcut. Let's hear it. I'm going to jump on here and make sure that the comments are jamming. Okay, perfect, incredible, awesome, epic. Very good, perfect. Okay, so perfect. We've established a desire for the shortcut. Let's go ahead and give that to you. Can you imagine if you didn't have to wait for there to be a market need? Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be awesome to come out with an invention or an idea and just immediately be able to market it to people? To have an established market without a need? Let's go talk about that right now. So I had to train teams over the last 12 years. I've recruited, managed, and trained over 1,000 door-to-door sales reps. Door-to-door sales reps don't rely on market needs. What they do is they take the product to the customer. This is the fastest way to create a need or create awareness, is to go directly to the customer. Not wait for the customer to enter your store, not wait for the customer to enter your website and type in your URL or to see you on a billboard, but to take it to them literally at home. And it's a really hard process to actually perfect. What we would end up doing in the last company that I just exited is our guys would knock on someone's door while they're eating dinner. They don't want you there. Instead of slamming the door in their face, we were able to develop systems and communication methods and influence that would stop them, disrupt their patterns, and then an hour or 2 hours later, they would sign up for a 20-year solar contract, PV solar on your roof, at about $150,000 a pop when all is said and done. Or prior to that, it was security or pest control. You've probably had door-to-door salesmen knock on your door. And what they're doing is they're disrupting the market. They're not waiting for the need to come up in your life. If it's a pest control salesman, they're not waiting for the ants to be so bad that you find a pest control company. They're bringing it to you. So Warren Buffett said, if you can't find a way to make money while you're sleeping, you'll work the rest of your life. I thought about this for a long time. I was like, man, this is great. We don't have to wait for market need because we're taking it to the customers. But I only earn when people are up knocking doors. How can we fix that? And I said, I've got to find a way to take this online. I've taken 12 years and I've honed down this craft to truly be a master craftsman in this area. How can I take this online? And I started to imagine and see in my mind, and then I saw evidence for the fact that traditional query-based marketing online is starting to die with the advent of social e-commerce. See, if you can disrupt someone's pattern when they're on Facebook, scrolling through their friends feed, and then bam, you've got a knock on their screen. You're going screen to screen. And you present them with an opportunity, or you present them with something that's so compelling that it disrupts their pattern and they click through that, you've created the need. You've created the interest. You created the market. As opposed to someone typing in Google, I would like to buy a toothbrush. You bring the toothbrush to them. This is what we call social commerce disruption. So that one secret that I've got to be brief on in virtue of time is the fact that most e-commerce companies have a great product, and maybe they have a great rate, maybe they've got great technology, they throw a website up and then they sit back. And they stress and they sweat trying to see what traffic is going to come. Maybe they write a few blog posts. Where's the traffic? What's going on? Why don't people catch my vision? And then they end up going under. because you can only support that for so long. Knowing that, if you're able to master the craft of social commerce disruption by using tools like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest, and get into the most intimate location that they have, which is in their house, on their most intimate device, which is their phone, which is truly connected to every facet of their life, and display something compelling enough to them, you've just entered the most successful, the most fruitful crop of land or plot of land that you could ever sow crops in and reap a reward for that. But you've got to be able to master that, and that's what we're going to be talking about. Next, how do we leverage the one tool that connects you to the world, that allows you to avoid traditional business acceleration issues? Now, I've talked about a lot of them, right? Waiting for a market need, doing market analyses, and all these things. Let's talk more about this. Okay, so when I first found out about iByRight and was chatting with Bob about this, I created this video. You may have seen it, you may not have. I hope that the volume goes through. I don't know. I'm going to play it right now. If not, you can scroll down later and watch the same video. When I heard about iByRight, the fact that there are thousands of SKUs already built into the system, that the entire fulfillment and logistics backend, the nightmare for online marketers, is already taken care of, that none of that had to be put on my or your shoulders, I almost lost it. There is nothing like this on the market, and yet e-commerce is the wave of the future. You'll look around and see that thousands and thousands of retailers are shutting down, including retailers that have been around forever, including Kmart, Sears, Walmart's even struggling. With the rise of e-commerce, it puts the opportunity to compete against the big guys in your and my hand. And there's no better platform, and I say this from experience, there's no better platform on the market than iByRight, not just in the US, which is growing by 15% a year, but internationally, where it's 3 times the market size and it's growing by 20% per year. So let's talk about that real quick. Let's say you want to jump in e-commerce. You recognize the trend. You recognize the trillions of dollars that are being spent online. You see the behemoths like Amazon and other groups like Shopify or BigCommerce, and you see what they're doing. You then have all the obstacles that come with traditional online marketing. You've got to develop hosting. You've got to get an incredible website design that converts, because most designs don't convert. You've got to source your product. You've got to negotiate for that product. You've got to figure out how to import that product, because if you import it incorrectly, you go to jail. You've got to have customs agents. You've got to get continuous bonds, insurances, etc. You've got to have a back-end inventory tracking system that is going to get your customers their product on time, that's going to process returns and refunds, that's going to take care of the customer from beginning to end. You've got to have warehousing, logistics, and customer support that's 5 stars. You've got to be able to test the products and make sure that there's going to actually be that you can bring it and you create that need, but then to make sure that there's longevity with that product, that it's just not a one-hit wonder. And then you've got to actually worry about pricing being cheaper than the competitors. And how can you do that as a one-man op when you've got Amazon out there, when you've got Jet out there, when you've got Jane.com out there, when you've got Walmart, Best Buy, all these guys with billions of dollars to sink into online marketing? You've got a tidal wave coming before you, and you've got to fend that tidal wave off and chop your little piece out of the market. Way too overwhelming. And I know because I did it. That's how I started, guys. And I was able to be successful with this method. I made $1 million in 90 days. But guess what I didn't have? I didn't have thousands and thousands of products and SKUs and inventory and negotiated prices and better prices than Amazon and the competitors out there. And when you partner with iByRight, you get a store that is already built, that's already designed for conversion, and access to thousands of real products, not some cheap Chinese knockoffs, but brand names at incredible rates, most of them beating the rates of your competitors, and you've got 5-star customer support. You're able to overcome the issue that most online marketers have, which is wearing all the hats themselves, because you've partnered with someone that is phenomenal with what they do. So the phrase is this: you do what you do best and let iByRight do the rest, because they will do the rest. So I am now, let's see, 7:19, okay, 7 minutes and 20 seconds. It's supposed to be 30 minutes long. I'm going to talk about action steps now that you're going to need to go over to move forward so that you can capitalize on this particular opportunity. But guys, I want to back up a little bit. Each week, my team and I will be providing these webinars of training. This is the very first one, so we weren't able to get into the actual nuts and bolts in the strategy. We're not showing you how to drive viral traffic. We're not showing you how to get free organic traffic. We weren't able to show you how to get paid traffic, how to set up your compelling ads that are going to convert, how to get on Instagram and Pinterest. Like, we weren't able to go over any of that. That all is coming down the road. That's starting next week, the week after. We're going to give you all that information. This is kind of like a meet and greet. I wanted to be able to get out there and let you guys know, hey, check it out. You've got an incredible partner. There's nothing else like it on the entire internet. And so you've got an incredible partner. This is what we're going to be talking about. And I'm going to show you how to engage in social commerce disruption at a level that no one else is doing it, so that you can succeed, so that you can have an online presence, so that you can become an e-commerce millionaire, so that you can finally reap what you sow, and so that you can do what Warren Buffett said, which was make money while you sleep. After 12 years of brick and mortar and just busting my head against the wall, and we had success, but I had to fight and bleed for every inch. And at night, every day reset itself. It is incredible with e-commerce to wake up on the West Coast and already have sales, because on the East Coast or in Europe or in South America, people are already buying your products. To wake up with forward momentum that day is incredible. And guess what? You weren't out there hustling up that sale because you did the work initially. You got your ads out there. You got your arms out there. You got your net because you're fishing, and you're able to bring them in 24/7. So all of that strategy is not lost. We absolutely are going to be going over that in future webinars. But on this first one, I wanted to meet you. I want to say, hey, how's it going? My name's Trevor. We're going to be spending a lot of time helping everybody become masters of social commerce disruption. Now let's talk about the next steps. First, if you don't have an iByRight e-commerce store, then you need to immediately after this webinar get one. You've got to start building your customer base. If you have friends on Facebook, congratulations. You've got a very warm market. If you've got an Instagram follower, excellent. You've got people who have to buy toothpaste, who have to buy pet food, who want to look beautiful with beauty products, and you can initially start marketing with them there. You already have a customer base. All you've got to do now is disrupt that pattern, get on that intimate device in their intimate setting where they live, and start working the magic. So if you don't have one, get one immediately. If you haven't taken the opportunity to enroll yet, then you need to contact the person who invited you to this webinar and start taking the next steps with them, because the opportunity is right now. You can enroll for $25 and get your spot locked in, which will allow you to start building your team and lock in where you're at. Another cool point of business, and Bob McNulty told me this today, iByRight is now accepting international enrollments that will eventually allow you to start building teams outside of the US. The US market is incredible. There's a lot of money here. But the international market is 30% larger, and it's growing by 20% a year. Perhaps for the first time ever, someone who has absolutely zero e-commerce experience can start about 4 years ahead of where most people start because of the product sourcing, the logistics, etc., and then immediately get an international customer base because of this very unique opportunity. What's coming? We're going to start talking about your social commerce on your Facebook profile. We're going to talk about how to get organic traffic to your store. We're going to talk about how to get paid traffic to your store. We're going to discuss daily action items that will help you drive sales. The incredible thing about the internet is that you're connected to over 1 billion people online, all who are pretty much addicted to the internet, who look at their phones or the devices multiple times per day. Never, ever, period, before in the history of humanity has such a powerful broadcasting instrument been available. And you're not broadcasting a blanket message to a television screen, disrupting people because you're giving them a commercial during their favorite TV show that maybe has nothing to do with them. You're able to highly target your ideal customer through the Facebook platform, through the Instagram platform, Pinterest, etc., with a software that on our end with iByRight provides everything that we need, and on their end allows you to advertise and pinpoint exactly who you want to offer these products and this opportunity to. There's never been an opportunity like it ever. We're going to be going over much, much more. Now, two things before we get to questions and answers. A lot of people have been asking, hey, I want this as an app on my smartphone. How can I get this as an app on my smartphone? Real simple, guys. You're going to open up Safari on your iPhone. I'm talking about iOS. If you have questions about Android, then we can get that information on the site for you. But on iOS, you'll open up Safari. You'll go to your store, and then you'll click the plus button that's down on the bottom of the screen, and you will add to home screen. You now have an icon on your home screen. You click, bam, that easy. You've got basically an app. It's a web app, but you've got an app on your phone. Secondly, featured products are a huge opportunity. Not only are they severely discounted, but they are the featured products for a reason. They are products that are engineered to sell right now. Every Monday, these products are updated. You're able to access your featured products by going to yourstorename.iByRight.com/featured products, one word, as you can see on the screen. You should be messaging your people and broadcasting on your platform to your audience your featured products weekly. If you don't, it's so simple to do, but if you don't do that, you're missing incredible opportunities for organic sales to come in an evergreen marketplace, meaning that these featured products continue to be updated. All right, guys, I know that was super brief. I wish I had more time. 30, 40 minutes is the max that we can do on these Facebook Live webinars. I will be able to go into great depth on exactly how to engineer success online in future webinar trainings. But what let's do right now is let's answer some questions. I'm going to attempt to jump into some of these comments down here. We've got 75 comments as of right now. I hope that I can see. Okay, let's see. So we've got, I'm starting from the bottom up. Okay, Milo Brandt, set up your app. You bet, man. Good job. Something like this with products people already buy and trust. Billions will be made. Travis, you're the man. In order to dine with the classes, you want to cater to the masses. Edmund, you hit it right on. We have India piling in already. Let's go. Okay, let's look further down here. Let's see, where have I got these? My iPad is not updating. All right, let's see if we've got any comments. Beck, are you able to message me questions that are popping up right now? My iPad is not updating. So Beck, if you can message me the comments that are occurring right now, I'll be able to answer those questions. Guys, feel free to ask anything right now. I'm here to help. That are popping up right now. Oops, that's me. Let's see, comments. Where are we at? So Beck, if you can message me the comments that are occurring right now, I'll be able to answer. No questions. Guys, all right, Beck writes no questions. Guys, I'm going to wait around for about 1 more minute. Yet, she writes. So I'm going to wait around for about 1 minute, then I'm going to have to jump off. And prepare for next week's webinar, which is really going to be incredible. It's going to help you take momentum quickly. Oftentimes, people analyze something so much that they don't move forward. You need to realize that e-commerce with iByRight is like driving in your car at night down a highway. You can only see as far as your headlights will broadcast. You can only see as far as they will lighten. But guess what? You can get to your destination only seeing that far. And we're going to show you how to actually make progress by only seeing so far. You don't have to understand this from beginning to end. You don't have to have been an entrepreneur in the past. You don't have to have been an online marketer in the past. What you need is desire and the will to go forward and actually take action. And we're going to be giving you those action steps. I gave you those 4 just now to get set up, to lock your spot in, to get your store, etc. Next week, we'll be giving you real organic methods to start driving traffic to your store. All right, what can they do right now to expose people to the market? Okay, so when is the next one? Okay, all right, so we've got some questions here. Let's look at this. Using landing pages, right now we're going to talk about driving traffic to product pages. Landing pages will come down the way. Right now it's straight to product pages. I drive to product pages all the time and convert like mad. What can they do right now to expose people to the market? So the first that you need to do is you need to first follow all those steps, which is sign up, lock your spot in, etc. Once you do that, there are videos that are already made that are going to show people the opportunity. You need to lend them your trust and your credibility. You need to edify whoever brought you in. Here's the deal. Someone that knows you knows that you're not an online expert, right? They know that you haven't made $1 million online probably. So you can then tell them that you met someone incredible, and that person is going to share the opportunity with you. They trust you, but they know you're not an expert. So you're then going to edify the expert, and you're going to connect the two of them, which is whoever brought you in, and that person can then explain to them the process. That's how you successfully generate traction in this type of industry. All right? So that's how you're going to want to do that. Is the live presentation going to be archived? I hope that it recorded. I'm not sure. Let me check. All right. Out of your million, how much was organic versus paid traffic? So about 50% of my traffic right now is organic. The other 50% is paid. When I first got online, I didn't know how to do anything with organic traffic, and so it was all paid traffic initially. Okay, I'm looking at more questions here. All right, so yeah, this live presentation, I hope it will be archived. Let's attempt to do it. I don't know if it says expiring on Facebook. Let's hope, right? I don't think this was recording on my computer. Perhaps someone else recorded it. We can find a way to do it. If needed, I can do it again for you guys. Okay, well, I'm waiting for a few more questions to come in. Let me just say this about exposing people to the market right now. There are two people that you're going to want to go after. You definitely need customers. When people find out that they can buy the #1 pet item on Amazon cheaper on the iByRight platform, they will start buying from iByRight. And so there was just an ad up for iByRight that showed that. It was like the #1 dog food or the #1 pet food. It was like $5 or $8 more on Amazon than iByRight. So when they understand that you've got a guy, the founder, who created e-commerce, started shopping.com, had an incredible acquisition. Now, he had to go through all those steps that we showed you up there, creating a way to attach merchant accounts and gateways, processing transactions. Like, talk about a time when it wasn't easy. That was the early 90s, right? When they find out that that guy who actually pioneered e-commerce has now started a new legacy business to actually compete with Amazon, they're already going to be interested. And then when you tell them that the power of going with someone who's already connected is that you get those connections, which is incredibly quality products at a way better rate than the market is offering, they'll start buying from you. So start generating customers by sending them to your store and sending them those featured products. The next thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try and find business partners that are going to help build this with you. Other people who are also interested in e-commerce or in generating an income passively on the side, whether it's just a couple hours a day if they want to moonlight this or if they want to do it full time. Here's the great thing. Anybody that I bring into e-commerce prior to iByRight, and even with iByRight, I'm on the corporate side, but they were my competition. With you, you're able to build a team that gathers momentum together, and when the tide rises, all the ships rise together. That's the power of creating that team. You're going to want to get more information from the person that actually invited you to this webinar, so I'm not going to steal the show with those questions. All right, next. What's your average conversion rate for paid search? I convert at 5.6%. which is almost double industry average. When is the next webinar? It will be announced on the website. So, and it will be announced shortly. Okay, guys, I am going to go ahead and sign off. I'm going to sign off just sharing this last bit of information with you. When I jumped online to make my first million, it was because I was so tired of the company that I had created. I had created more or less a prison. I had a large financial partner get involved, Goldman Sachs, and at first I thought it was awesome. And then I quickly found out that these guys in Wall Street who bought the majority of the company didn't value what I valued. It got to the point where I didn't even want to go to sleep at night because I knew I had to wake up the next morning and go into the office. It was no longer this cool startup with my college buddies. It was a nightmare. You might be in the same boat. You might be in a completely different boat where you love what you're doing, but you wish you could generate a little more extra money on the side. What iByRight is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to get what you put into it. Would $100 profit a day change your life dramatically? There is no one on this planet who lives like a normal person that an extra $3,000 a month wouldn't change their life. When I started, I had to source my product. I had to design the site. I had to connect all the tools together. I had to figure out ways to increase my conversion. I didn't have someone who had already been there and done that to show me the way. I had to figure that all out on my own. Now that I've got it figured out, here I am committed to help you achieve what it is that you want to achieve so that you can live how you want to live. And by live how you want to live, I'm not talking about in 30 days being a millionaire, because most likely that's not going to happen. But in 30 days, you can live dramatically different. Because an extra $1,000, an extra $500, maybe you're a real heavy hitter, an extra $10,000 a month will change the way that you are able to live. But you're not going to do it with some snake oil product. You're doing it with the real trend. If there is a trend anywhere in the world, it's the internet. That's why these companies like Snapchat have crazy valuations while they're still pre-revenue. The trend is online. And this is the only online e-commerce platform that delivers everything that you need to be successful. So guys, with that, I want to sign off. I want to thank you so much for jumping on. I know you don't know who I am, and so I appreciate the respect of jumping on, giving me 30 minutes of your time. I promise that each one I'll deliver more and more valuable information. Each one will get more and more advanced. So don't miss out on them. I'm going to open up the wealth of knowledge that I have. It would take years for me to share it all, but I'm going to give you the best nuggets that you will then be able to put together and create your own golden goose. There's no better platform, again, to create your golden goose on than this one that puts it all together for you. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate your time. Chat with you soon.